Hello, in this video we're going to be creating the Secret Messages project, this one here by the Raspberry Pi Foundation. And I'm actually going to start down on page 4 of this project on encrypting letters. We're going to jump ahead here. The first part is introducing Caesar ciphers, and we've already gone over that. So I'm going to scroll down a bit here and then head back over to Trinket. So we're using Trinket for our programming again. I already went ahead and named my project and clicked the Save button once to make sure my project saves. But the first thing that we're going to have to do is create a list. And a list is very similar to a variable, except in a list we can store more than one item at a time. And in this case, click back on line 1, we're going to be creating a list of all the letters in the alphabet. So our computer doesn't automatically know what letters are in the English alphabet that we want it to access to decode our message. And so we have to actually set up our program by telling the computer what those letters are. So we're going to type out our list this way. We have one quotation mark at the beginning, and then I'm not putting any commas. I'm just kind of putting all the letters here together: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, L, M, N, O, P, Q, V, W, X, Y, Z. So go ahead, if you need to pause right now so you can create that list and then come back and you can see what we're going to do next with that. But so after my alphabet, we're going to also create a variable now that stores the key. And remember, the key is telling us what the shift in the alphabet is for the secret letters. So if we, for example, are using a key of 3, then the letter A, we'd shift 1, 2, 3. The letter A would now be the letter D in our secret message. So to start, we're going to just tell our computer what the key is going to be, but later we're going to look at how you can set up the program so that the user can actually decide what the key is going to be before encrypting or decrypting a message. So key equals 3 for now, and then we'll go down a couple of lines. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to now create another variable for the character or the letter that we want to decode. And for this, we're going to start with the word input. And this is going to allow the user to actually type in the letter that they want to decode. So we'll say the way we do that is we type input and then we put a parenthesis and we put a message to our user. So please enter a character. And put a space and then make sure that those parentheses are closed. And then we're going to tell the computer to look at whatever letter the user input and then go ahead and find the position of that character in our list and then use the key to shift and find what the actual letter would be. So we're going to say position equals. So now we're saying, okay, computer, look at the letter you were given and now find where in the list that letter is. So what position in the list? Position equals alphabet, so our list, dot find. We know find is a nice method because it is exactly what the computer is going to do. It's going to go find the character that it was told to go find in the list. And then we're going to say print whatever position that is. So what we're going to do is give it a letter and it's going to tell us what place in the list that letter is at, what number position in the list the letter is at. So let's run it and test it. Okay, so over here I have to click to type a letter. So I'm going to put C, enter. And it says position 2. Now this might be a little bit confusing because if you count A, B, C, it looks like it should be 1, 2, 3. But when we're counting in a list in Python, we actually count starting with the number 0. So A would be at position 0, position 1, position 2. And so here it's telling us that indeed C is at position 2 in our list. Okay, so now what we're going to do next is encrypt our letter. So right now the computer has just looked at the list, found a character, but now we want it to use the key to shift and encrypt that letter. So what would C turn into for our secret message? So first we're encrypting, not decrypting. So we printed position. We can keep that or we can get rid of it later. Maybe we don't need that listed out here, but let's just keep it so we can see each step kind of happening as we work through our program. We're going to now create a new variable called new position. So what will the secret letter be? Instead of a C, what are we going to use in our secret message? So new position is going to equal position. So where is the real letter located? Position plus what is our key? What's the shift in the alphabet going to be? Okay. And then let's print out what the computer figures out so we can actually see on screen what that's going to be. So we're going to run our program and let's try again. So enter your character. Let's use the letter C again. So C, return or enter. And it says C is in position 2. So you're going to replace the letter C with the letter in position 5 in your secret message. So what is that? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So C is going to turn into an F. Now, we want the computer to actually do the encrypting for us at this point, not just tell us what the new letter is going to be. So we're going to now continue on so that we tell the computer to take whatever letter is in that new position and reprint it out for us. Okay, so we're going to now say, what is the new character that we're going to put in our secret message? So we're going to call it new character. And we're saying character instead of letter because if our message were to include like a space or punctuation or something like that, those aren't letters. Those are what we would maybe call like a character. So we're using that. But you could, the way a variable works is you could name this anything you want to. It is just helpful procedure to name a variable something that makes sense for what you're storing. So we're going to say new character equals, and this is going to be the alphabet list, but, oops, we're going to use brackets and tell it we want whatever the new position is in that list, okay? And then let's test this out. So we're going to print our new character. So it should now actually print out the letter that's found at whatever that new position is. So, okay, please enter your character. So letter was C, enter. Oh, remember it's saying C was originally at position 2 in the list. When you use the key and shift, it's now at position 5, and that is equal to the letter F. So now what would this look like if we are actually going to encrypt a message fully? I'm going to go to the next line, and let's add some more information here. Okay, I'm going to move my notes up here. There we go. All right, so we are going to go ahead now and add one more line down here. So where we have print new character, we're going to change this. We're going to add like a little message here so that the user gets some kind of sentence telling them what it is that we're printing on screen. So let's change this, or let's add to this. We're going to say print the new character is colon space, and then put one more little single quotation mark and a comma. And then what it's going to do is give us a little sentence with that new letter. So I'm going to test that again. Enter. There you go. The new character is F. Okay. So we're going to go ahead now, and we're going to go back up to where our key was. So line 2, line 3. I'm going to hit return just to make a little extra space here. And we're going to set up a new variable called new message. So new message equals, and then we're just going to use some quotation marks to leave that empty. Okay. And let's do, come all the way back down here. Oops, nope, right here, sorry. So after the new message variable, we're also then going to put in message equals, and we're going to, again, set this up as an input because we want the user to be able to type in whatever message they want to encrypt. So message equals, input, there we go, parentheses, and then we're going to say, please enter a message Let's run that and see what that looks like. Please enter a character. Oops, I messed up my message here. I'm going to stop and run it again. Okay, please enter a message. Oh, we don't want to enter a message and a character. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and delete this out. Or you know what? I'm not going to delete it quite yet. I'm going to put a little hashtag there. That's going to tell the computer to ignore that line for now, but I don't want to delete it yet because I don't want to forget that we had done that earlier. So let's try and run this again. All right, so it's going to prompt the user for a message. All right, that looks good. But now we haven't told it what to do with a full message, so that's going to be the next couple of steps. Okay, so we're going to add in a for loop here. I'm going to put my notes back over again. So underneath our message variable, and underneath I just tag or commented out this line so it's ignored. So down here, we're going to create a loop that's going to tell the computer to loop through, right, repeat through, decoding each letter in our message until it reaches the end of the message. So one way we can do that is for character in message. Okay. And then when I hit enter and go down, it should automatically indent for us. So remember that in our loops, we need to indent the instructions that we want the computer to loop through or repeat through. So that automatically indented for me. But I'm going to actually be using this line here, the position equals. We're still using that. So a way I can indent that properly is I'm going to click in front of that line, delete or backspace back, and then there it is indented for me. Okay. I'm not going to print each piece as it's happening this time. I'm going to go down, move my cursor down, delete, backspace. There we go. Make sure that that is indented properly. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm not going to print each piece as it's happening. I'm going to move this up and then hit return to make sure it's indented properly. Okay. I'm going to use my tab key to tab this over, and then I'm going to comment that out for now as well. But now we're going to add to that loop. What's the new message going to be? So new message. And then what we're going to do is we're going to append each letter to our new message. So new message, right? That's our variable up here. As we encode a letter, that letter is going to go into this list new message. So for example, when C was turned into an F, then it would take that F and plop it up here into our new message variable. And then what we want to do is we don't want to replace that letter each time a new letter is added. We want it to put that letter up against the last one. So we're actually spelling out our word. So we're going to say new message. And then the way we do that is a plus sign, an equal sign, and then what's the new character? So each character that is encoded, excuse me, will then get put up against the next one in the list to make an entire word. Okay, now I'm going to hit return twice and then backspace or delete back against the left side of the screen because I no longer want to be in that loop. I want to exit the loop and I want to print out whatever our new message is when it's done. Okay, so let's test that out. Now we're going to enter a full message, not just one letter that we want encoded, and it should run through and encode it for us. So please enter a message. Let's try hello. And with a key of 3, because remember, we kind of still have that just set up to whatever we chose in the beginning. Remove that, click here, return. Your new message is Encore. So my formatting is coming out a little weird in my print. I need to go back and I can figure that out later. Off the top of my head, I'm not exactly sure why it's printing it in my parentheses this way right now. But it's telling us that hello is going to be encrypted as the word core. Okay. So now a challenge that you could try and work on is how might you set up your key as an input, similar to our message, right? Or the way we did our character. How would you set up the key as an input so that